Welcome to Agile Production Anchors. We're going to explore a counterintuitive truth about documentation. The most essential document is often the one you almost didn't write. Think about your own experience. That one-page troubleshooting guide, the quick reference your team actually uses daily, the decision log that prevents repeated conversations. These often emerge as more valuable than the comprehensive manuals that seemed so important at first. In this deck, we'll examine why the neglected document deserves your attention and how to identify which documents truly anchor your production workflow. Here's a paradox we face in project work. We invest enormous effort engineering massive comprehensive documentation, 100 pages of detailed specifications, processes, and requirements. We fill them with diagrams, cross-references, and exhaustive detail. But here's the uncomfortable truth. When we actually need to make decisions and coordinate our teams, we ignore all of that and rely on hastily scrawled afternoon notes. A single clarifying sentence. 3 essential features. Clear next steps for this week. These informal notes achieve instant alignment because they respect how our brains actually work. They minimize friction, eliminate noise, and focus on what matters right now. The lesson isn't that documentation is useless, it serves important purposes. The lesson is that we've inverted our priorities. We should be spending more energy on creating the scrappy clarity that moves work forward, and less time perfecting the comprehensive Bibles that sit on shelves. Now let's talk about the Agile Anchor Framework itself, the 3 pillars that hold everything together. At the top, you see 3 practical artifacts that we create fast. A 1-page world summary to bring collaborators up to speed, a character timeline to keep events organized, and a visual reference folder you can build in an afternoon. Below that are 3 deeper anchors. Macro context establishes the rules of your world, the constraints that govern everything. Chronological logic locks down your sequence, making sure events flow coherently. And the tone anchor preserves the emotional core of your story so that no matter who's working on it, the feeling stays consistent. Together, these 6 elements form a lightweight but mighty foundation for agile production. Now let's evaluate the actual weight of these production assets. On the left, we have formal production documents, the traditional approach. They take months of iteration and approvals. They're rigid and formatted for client-facing delivery, and their core purpose is to dictate the final deliverable with exhaustive detail and legal safety. On the right, highlighted in orange, are what I call the neglected Agile Anchors. These are created in an afternoon of rapid synthesis. They're scrappy and intuitive, designed for internal use. Their purpose is to reduce the creator's cognitive load, enabling immediate project re-entry and alignment. The irony is that teams often undervalue these lightweight anchors precisely because they lack the formal weight of traditional documents, yet they deliver far more operational value when velocity and team capability matter most. Now let's talk about why these documents actually matter in practice. This is the context degradation curve. Notice how project memory and context start at 100% when you're actively working. But as you spend time away from the project, whether it's a week or a month, that context naturally decays. It's not a failure, it's how human memory works. The real value of your production anchors shows up at these critical moments. When you're returning to a project after time away and need to reorient yourself quickly, or when someone else entirely needs to understand the code base in a hurry. Your documentation serves as an instant cognitive restore point, letting people rebuild their mental models without reconstructing everything from scratch. That's when these documents transform from overhead into genuine time savers. Now let's talk about what prevents creative chaos from becoming destructive chaos. You see this tangled web above? That's the chaotic project, all your interconnected story elements, narrative threads, and creative decisions. It looks messy, and it is. But beneath it stands something essential, the essential neglected document. This isn't glamorous work. It's rapid summaries, timelines, and visual folders. These aren't happy accidents, they're deliberate anchors. When you intentionally design and maintain these foundational assets, you secure your entire project against drift. And here's the modern advantage. You don't have to create these anchors alone. By thoughtfully utilizing AI to speed up their generation, you can establish a rock-solid foundation that keeps even the most complex story development grounded and navigable. We've covered a lot of ground today about the anchors that keep agile production on track. But here's the real question I want to leave you with. What is a project document you almost skipped, maybe thought was unnecessary, that turned out to be the one you reference most? If this resonates with you, I'd love to hear about it. Like this post and drop a comment with the word forge. Because that's what this is really about, creating a forge where our documentation, our assets, and our creative processes are tested, refined, and made stronger. Let's build better together.